Hey guys, SeanB. Today we are taking a look at the new version 808 update notice for the second part of the major update. This is also the second recording. If you know, you know. So I've seen all this. Okay, first we have the new boss that you have to do. Have three different phases. It will rotate every single week, and the phase one will change according to the dimension that the boss is on. So the first one being Kazan, which means you will have to put 4-star monster in the phase one, but 2 and 3, you don't have to change. So you build a good team for 2 and 3, then you can keep reusing them, probably. So the boss will have a lot of dots and it will ignore immunity, which means Veramos is gonna be very, very strong here. And the boss will counter you and it will increase the damage after every time it counter you. So pay attention to the counter timer because the boss counter attack can be really, really painful. So hopefully we'll be able to farm grinds for our Swift, our Blade, our Rage rune that you get from doing Predator boss, but you didn't have the grind for because you only farm Illunia. And the Dimension Predator boss content will be gone. It will be replaced by the Dimension Raid. And hopefully, with this, we can farm better grinds and gems for our Ancient Rune, and that will further improve our rune quality. Next, we have the new two-way monster. Man, I've seen all this. My first recording, we lost all the sound, so I have to do this again. So after all the skill that I can read here, I think the fire one is gonna be very tanky because the fire one will have max HP increase according to its defense, and the fire one will do damage that will be increased if the target is immune to stun, which means if the target has immunity, or if the target is a fire monkey king, for example, or if the target is a boss, you will do more damage. But this guy only has more damage when he's using skill one, so it's not gonna do crazy damage for dungeon, in my opinion. And also, the Fire Living Armor can do damage that will ignore all damage reduction effect when attacking the enemy. So shield, invincibility, and defense buff, he can ignore all that, and he can deal damage straight to the unit, which is great. Water Living Armor, very disappointing. I thought it's gonna be having some self-sustain thing so he can solo the water lab boss, but he doesn't get any cool things like that. Okay. He can now AoE defense break, 3-turn defense break, but only 50% chance. Not a huge fan of that. And the passive allowing him to strip one buff from the enemy, but only 50% chance, and the slow debuff is also 50% chance. So not a huge fan of this unit. Probably not gonna work on it unless someone can prove me wrong. But the fire one is definitely a better option to work on. But the one that you will work on is gonna be the wind one. So the wind one will have I have no idea. Okay, the skill one of this unit for all the living armor, it will do damage according to the defense. But for this one, they changed the text, and now the skill one will strike the enemy with damage that is proportional to its defense. What does it mean? It means the skill will only scale with defense and not attack and defense. So look at the skill three. The skill three tag says damage increase according to its defense, which means it will scale with both attack and defense, but mainly defense. The attack will increase damage by a little bit. So I'm not sure about the skill one tags right there. And it's pretty much the same skill, nothing really crazy about it. The skill two will decrease the enemy defense with a guaranteed chance. I mean, not guaranteed, with a 100% chance to activate. Not guaranteed like ignore resistance, but better than all the other one, okay? Because the chance to activate is 100, which is great. You can kind of rely on that. And it's AoE, so that's cool. So this unit will probably do the same thing. Will be that one single hit that killed the enemy target for you, and it will remain the same unit, but with better base stat, more damage. You can make it do like 80,000, 70,000 much easier. The light one is interesting. The skill 2 will have an irresistible decreased defense. I think that's what it means, okay? And the passive will allow it to attack 3 more times, which is great for artifact additional damage by defense if the target is under defense reduction, and it will heal block. So if you attack with skill 2, you defense break that unit, you violent proc, which is very a normal build for this unit, violent destroy, speed defense, and you will essentially stun it. You can slow it down and heal block it. So a whole lot of debuff for this unit, and gonna be great. I'm gonna build this unit for sure. The dark one is also another one that you have to build because from being a normal unit to being a unit with every single skill will now have the beneficial effect block, which is great for the artifact dungeon, and it's gonna be used in there. It's gonna be a better buff block than Ling Ling, the Wind Kung Fu Girl, but I think you can use them together to make sure that you always land the beneficial effect block. Skill 1 can do that with a 50% chance. Skill 2 can do that AoE with a 50% chance. Skill 3 can do that as well. So, a very good unit for the Artifact Dungeon. Must build. The Frankenstein Fire 1, pretty much the same with better attack bar reduction in the skill 2. And he's going to do the same thing as well. Skill 1 has a better chance of stun compared to the rest of the family as well. So he's probably going to be the same unit that will two punch the enemy target for you, one shot it, and everything that he does outside of that is going to be slightly better. The water one, very good, must build as well. The provoke will now be 100% chance, very amazing. And skill 3 will allow him to gain more attack bar if the enemy hit you really, really hard, more than 50% of his HP. So he's going to be the same unit for you, the one that tank the enemy that cannot be defense broken, and he will now provoke more reliably and also gain more attack bar potentially. That is great. The win one is interesting. So his skill 1 have self-healing, which is great, good for bruiser. Skill 2 is the same. Skill 3, he will gain more attack bar when he gain buff, and he will have more speed when he suffer from he'll gain defense when he gain a buff. So if you buff him with defense, he not only get the defense buff value, he'll gain extra defense as well. And he will gain attack speed when he suffer from debuff like defense break, slow debuff, dots, all that good stuff. And he will gain attack bar when you buff him with anything or you debuff him from the enemy. So that's good. He will constantly gain attack bar, but he does not gain attack bar from the start of the battle, which means if you stack him up with Will Shield, he doesn't gain extra attack bar by that. But when you buff him during the course of the battle, like giving him defense buff or speed buff, then he'll gain more attack bar. So that's very cool. I think this guy's gonna be a great sort of win bruiser for your guild content. The light one is I'm not a huge fan. The skill 2 will now have a chance of stun together with his attack bar reduction, but only 50%. And the skill 3, he will deal damage, a lot of damage single target, and he will decrease the enemy target attack bar. So he's a okay sort of light bruiser with stun and attack bar reduction. Can be interesting to use in guild content for sure, but he doesn't have any extra beefiness to his skill set or whatever, so gonna die too easily if you're not careful. So not a huge fan, but the dark one, he will now have AoE provoke for 2 turns, but with a lower chance even. So I even hate this more because I want consistency, okay? 2 turn provoke, very cool, but only 50% chance, which is kind of lame. So most of the time, your attack will do nothing because you also have the resistant accuracy check as well. So it's more like a 40% chance to provoke all enemies for 2 turns. And then he can decrease the damage that he take up to 70%. How? I have no idea. Like, what is the condition for the increasing in the damage reduction? They don't say it here. It's kind of weird. But not a huge fan of this inconsistency thing. But he get more base stats. So maybe the funny video where he do 1 billion damage because the damage he can do is uncapped. So I want to see that funny video once again. So that's the two-way monster. According to my early analysis, I will do the Wind Living Armor, the LD Living Armor. I will do the Fire Frank, Water Frank, Wind Frank, and the LD one, not a huge fan. Okay, so the dungeon will be available for you in the counter run. I think this one you will have to do different type of the monster, which is kind of challenging. And then we have the new building for your new dimension hole, storage and speed. So better farm the Shining Mithril, okay? And we have the new monster as well. We have the Fire Maiden. We saw that already, so not gonna talk about it to waste your time. AoE strip into AoE debuff. Very good unit. Remind me of the Chung Pang. So we have the water one, which is very interesting. It can have reflect harmful effect, but it doesn't reflect inability, which is kind of lame. Reflecting stun can be interesting, but you cannot reflect that. You can reflect everything else though. So imagine if you put this on yourself and you are very slow and the Sierra on the enemy defense will keep bombing you and she will keep bombing herself. That'd be the funniest thing ever. So that can be very cool. And maybe you put it on yourself and then you reflect everything back to the enemy Shizuka. Can be funny too. The wind one is interesting. It has strip, and then it can prevent enemy from removing harmful effect for 1 turn. And she can increase attack bar when she put debuff on whenever the enemy is granted with harmful effect. So that is very cool as well. So you can put her on despair, strip, stun, attack break, maybe put the cleanse block on them as well so they can't cleanse the stun away. and she get an attack bar after that to do that more often, which is very, very cool. So potentially can be a great AoE stripper depending on the base speed. We have the light one being very oh wait, the water one, I totally forgot about the fact that she can devour an enemy unit and decrease the target HP 5% for 10 turn, which is potentially 50%. And she will get attacked. If she get attacked, then she'll release the unit faster. So she's like the necro boss. No, the dark rift dungeon boss. So very, very interesting. So if you use it in a guild content where you can make her dodge the enemy attack by using the element, then she can just eat an enemy target, and after releasing it, it will lose half its HP. In RTA, if you use her with like a Gani Hathor team or a control team, she won't be attacked, and then she can steal a target like a Rakuni or a Juno. Then she'll keep that stupid unit in her. That's kind of you get in her for 10 turn, which is kind of crazy. So that is very, very cool. Okay. She's going to be great for maybe CC unit, or she's just interesting. The light one is also very interesting. For every harmful effect granted on yourself, you will do more damage and you will take less damage. You will grant one harmful effect on yourself to the target when attacking. So she can transfer back the stupid debuff as well. No, not even transfer. She will grant that debuff on the enemy, not taking the debuff out of her. And she ignore all harmful effects. So all the harmful effects will not have any effect to her. So defense break, so debuff. She doesn't care, which is very, very cool. And she's immune to oblivion. Or like what? So not only she can strip, she can put debuff back to the enemy, and she ignore all the debuff. She's just a great debuff monster, and she's an LD5. Of course. The dark one is even more interesting because the dark one has a skill 3. The skill 2 is the reflect buff thingy, which is already very cool. The skill 3, she'll call out a demon, and the demon will have more HP, will have more damage, and the demon will become the demon will disappear when the HP becomes 0. So she has another life essentially. And then the demon can grant defense break or attack break or stun in the skill. I'm not even sure if it's a basic attack or something. It looks like a basic attack. It has 2 skill only, and it attack all enemy all the time to defense break or attack break or stun them. And it will have another skill to return back to her form. So she doesn't even need to go back to her form. She can just stay in this form and do a lot of damage to the enemy. And that's very cool. And the only way to make it disappear is to kill it. So it may not be easy because it will appear with 50% increased HP. That is 50% of your max. I have no idea what it means, but what I understand is that it will have more HP and more damage, which is like, bruh. Very, very interesting unit. And of course, in an LD5. And you cannot use it in prelim, but you can use it in America Cup. Same with the new 2A unit. And then we have the fake rate up banner, whatever. We have the schedule for all the cool stuff that's about to happen. And remember to catch the stream, whether it's me hosting or anyone hosting, doesn't matter. Watch SUC is always fun. And then we have the new mock battle. We have the new crafting material for grindstone. You only need one of these materials to craft a grind. You can select the set, so violent, whatever, which is very, very cool, which means the drop rate for these will be very small. I'm guessing the Beast Claw will drop like 3%, the Beast Horn probably 1%. Very, very low. But because you can choose the set, that is very, very cool. And then you have faster playtime for this content as well, which is very, very amazing because this playtime for this content is dog shit for the most part. It's way too long to do 10 run, so now hopefully it's going to be faster. Okay, and now we have the UI improvement for pre-ban. I'm not too sure what is the improvement here. It looks the same to me. Can someone tell me what is the improvement for this? And also, we have 30 replay for watching replay for the monster filter instead of 15 now. So, hey, one of the best way to learn how to use your monster is to watch how other people use the monster. And you can do that in RTA every single day for free. And then we have new pack, please. If you have 99.9, every time someone asks me whether the pack is worth it or not, I tell them, hey, if you can burn this $100 bill right now and feel nothing, nada, zero, okay? You can take this $100 bill and you just like, and then like throw it away. And you feel nothing. You are ready to buy this pack and summon as well. Because most of the time, it's gonna get you absolutely nothing. And we have game error fixes. We have skill description change, nothing really crazy here. And then we have a free Devilmon and 10 mystical scroll. Absolutely incredible. So that was my update, notice, recap. I'm sorry, the first video didn't have sound. I didn't check it properly and have to do this over again. But hey, maybe that is better because I feel I know everything and I can talk about them better and I can recommend which one you have to build immediately. Personally, I hope I get one of the elemental new unit, not the fire one. The fire one is boring. The other two is very, very cool. And I hope I will get some new two-way up and running for you guys as well. And that's about it for today. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video.